They say the city of Tokyo never sleeps, but that is a lie told by those who have never been awake at 3:33 in the morning. This is Renjiro Sato. He is a midnight courier, a man who rides a black motorbike through streets that glisten with a rain that never seems to stop. He delivers packages that have no return address. The engine beneath him purrs like a large dark cat, vibrating through his bones. Listener, have you ever been driving alone at night and felt that, for just a moment, the world outside your window had simply ceased to exist? The job is simple on paper. Pick up the box. Drive to the coordinates. Leave it at the door. Don't knock. Don't wait for a thank you. And most importantly, never look inside. It pays well, better than it should for carrying small cardboard boxes wrapped in brown paper. But the payment doesn't just appear in his bank account. Sometimes he finds it in his pocket, a rare coin, a photo of a memory he had forgotten, or sometimes just a wave of immense relief, as if a heavy weight he didn't know he was carrying had suddenly vanished. Tonight, the dispatch radio crackled to life with a sound like dry leaves skittering on pavement. It was Chief Oda. He's run the dispatch office for 40 years, or maybe 100. He sounded tired. Renjiro, he rasped. Special delivery. The old Koyanagi tunnel. You know the one. Don't stop for the hitchhikers. Renjiro laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke. But Oda never jokes. The coordinates flashed on the bike's console, glowing a pale, sickly green. He throttled the bike and merged onto the highway. The rain was coming down harder now, drumming a rhythm against his helmet that sounded like fingertips tapping on a window pane. Tap, 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 tap. He tried to hum a song to drown it out, but the tapping matched the beat of his own heart. Have you ever noticed how, when you are truly afraid, your senses don't sharpen, they blur? The streetlights smeared into long, bleeding lines of color, stretching out like fingers trying to grab the wheels. The Koyanagi tunnel sits on the edge of the district, where the concrete of the city gives way to the overgrown weeds of the neglected suburbs. It's an old service tunnel, barely wide enough for a truck. As Renjiro approached, the air grew colder. He could feel it seeping through his jacket. The entrance of the tunnel looked less like a piece of infrastructure and more like a mouth, gaping open, black and toothless, waiting to swallow whatever was foolish enough to enter. He drove in. The sound of the engine changed instantly, echoing off the damp walls, amplifying into a roar that sounded angry. The orange sodium lights flickered overhead. One on, one off, one on, two off. In the gaps of darkness, he saw things in his peripheral vision. Shapes, not people, but the suggestion of people, standing against the walls, just watching. If you turned your head to look, would you want to see them, or would you pray they were just shadows? He made it through the tunnel. His breath was fogging the visor. The GPS led him not to a house, but to a massive, aging apartment complex, a danchi from the 1970s. Block 4. It loomed against the sky, a grid of hundreds of dark windows. Only one light was on. 4th floor, 3rd door from the left. The building felt heavy, like a tombstone that had been hollowed out and filled with living people. Or things that used to be people. He parked the bike. The silence here was different from the tunnel. It wasn't empty, it was expectant. He took the package. It felt warmer now, radiating a gentle heat against his chest. He walked to the elevator, but the doors were welded shut with rust. Of course. He took the stairs. Concrete steps stained with time. Flight after flight. The numbers on the walls were painted in peeling yellow. 1, 2, 3. But then 3 again. And 3 again. He had to close his eyes and count the steps to break the loop. 4th floor. The walkway stretched out, a long corridor of iron railings and metal doors. The wind howled through the gaps, sounding like a flute played by someone with no breath. He walked to the third door. The nameplate was blank, scratched out by something sharp. He placed the package on the ground. His hand hovered over the doorbell. He knew the rules. Don't knock. But a sound came from inside. A soft weeping melody. A lullaby. He stood there paralyzed. He knew that song. His mother used to hum it when the storms came off the Pacific and shook their house. Why was it playing here in a condemned block in the middle of nowhere? Against his better judgment, against every rule Chief Oda had drilled into him, he reached out and knocked. Once, twice. The sound echoed down the walkway like a gunshot. The lullaby stopped. The silence that followed was heavy, thick enough to choke on. The door clicked. It didn't open, it just unlatched, swinging inward an inch. Darkness poured out of the crack like black smoke. Delivery, he whispered. His voice sounded small, like a child. A hand appeared from the darkness to take the box. It was pale, slender, and translucent. It wasn't a hand of flesh and bone. It was a hand of memory. The hand brushed his. It was ice cold. He saw a face then, just for a heartbeat, in the gap of the door. It was Yuki. Not a stranger. Yuki, his fiancée, who disappeared 3 years ago on a rainy night just like this one. She looked exactly as she did the last time he saw her, right before their fight, right before she walked out. She looked sad. Renjiro, she whispered. You finally brought it back. The door slammed shut. He was alone in the corridor. He pounded on the metal. Yuki, open up, he screamed until his throat burned. But the door was locked. The nameplate wasn't scratched out anymore. It read Sato. His name. He stepped back, his heart hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird. He looked down at the receipt in his hand, the one he was supposed to sign himself. The item description just said, regret. He ran. He ran down the stairs, not counting the numbers this time. He burst out into the courtyard. His bike was gone. The rain had stopped. The streetlights were out. The city was gone. All that was left was the apartment complex, standing alone in a vast, gray void. He pulled out his phone to call Chief Oda. No signal. Just a recording playing on a loop. It was his voice. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean what I said. Then he understood. The coldness. The endless night. The job that never ends. He wasn't the courier. He wasn't the one delivering peace to others. He was the one wandering. He was the ghost haunting the streets of a Tokyo that exists only in his memory. Yuki didn't disappear 3 years ago. He did. He crashed his bike on a rainy Tuesday, chasing after her to apologize. He's been riding the loop ever since. He looked up at the 4th floor. The light was still on. The package he delivered. It was his apology. It was the last thing he needed to let go of. The gray void began to brighten, turning into a blinding, warm white light. The sound of the bike engine faded, replaced by that lullaby, humming softly from everywhere at once. It wasn't scary anymore. It felt like waking up from a long, cold dream. We all carry packages, don't we? Regrets, words unsaid, apologies we swallowed. We carry them around, driving through the rain, thinking we have infinite time to deliver them. But the road ends eventually. If you have a package like that, sitting heavy in your heart tonight, don't wait for the midnight courier to take it. Deliver it yourself, while you still have the light. And if you are listening to this, safe in your bed, listen to the sounds of your house settling. The creak of the floorboards. The wind against the glass. Is it just the wind? Or is it a courier passing by, checking if you are ready to let go of something? Sleep well. The night is long, but the morning always comes. Eventually. One last thing before you drift off. Check your door tomorrow. If you find a package you didn't order, don't be afraid. Just remember, someone somewhere might be missing you. Or perhaps you are the one who needs to be found. Good night.